Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Levski. Well, the elevator anyway. Now this week's Aroundiverse was hosted by Chris Roberts with Sean Tracy, and this one was an extensive piece about the ship pipeline and how they make ships throughout all the studios. Now this special edition of Ship Shape, which will be recurring throughout Aroundiverse in future, as they have changed the format to include more in-depth, longer pieces. Now Gerard Huckabee introduced us first to the team working up at Foundry 42 in Wilmslow. First of all, we met some of the concept team and Paul Jones, who's the art director. Of course, we got a look again at some of the artwork the developers have created. Now, it was really interesting to see how many people were actually working on the ship pipeline team in all disciplines, from UI to VFX. The ship pipeline is tremendously important, as we know. No ships, no game. And if you're like me, you've probably bought a lot of ships over the past few years. But of course, you don't need to buy the ships. The ships do help fund the game, and well, all the ships will be available in game when it eventually releases sometime in the future. Now the ship team is spread across 3 studios, and we got to see Chris Smith, who's working at Austin, and he's been working on a ship which is exciting him at the moment, the Anvil Lightning F8. So we got to meet one of the coolest developers working anywhere, Josh Coons, who's got a pretty cool mug, which if they put that up for sale on the Eyeside site would be sure to sell out. Personally, I wouldn't mind just having his hair. We also got the thoughts of Chris Roberts himself, who, well, probably many of us have heard this before, but he outlined how he envisaged the design of the ships, the concepts they're based on. Basically, he works off his experience of science fiction over the past, well, 49 years for him, a lot longer for me. He also gets some of his ideas from World War II aircraft and contemporary aircraft as well. We also learnt from Gerard Huckabee that the Misc Razor, the Anvil Terrapin, the Aegis Reclaimer and the Cyclone are now at the flight prep stage. Finally, in this long but extensive segment, we got a look at the new Misc Razor, which is basically your Formula 1 space racing ship. Now Reverse the Verse is back, and although it has a different format from episodes of the past, this week it had Squadron 42 composer Geoff Zenelli, and he answered questions from Gerard Huckabee, and basically Geoff is, well, a top-line composer. He's composed the latest Pirates of the Caribbean film, and he's collaborated in the past with legendary film composer Hans Zimmer. Now if you're an Eyeside subscriber, you might want to check out this month's subscriber flare. A really nice and a very well made Vandal figure. Now, if you're an Imperator subscriber, you actually get another figure as well, so you get two figures. Now, these are very nice. I wonder if they're going to consider making actual real physical figures in the future. I know I wouldn't mind having a real one sitting on my desk. Now, they are changing the benefits for subscribers, and from April the actual subscriber flair will actually be in-game items. Now, if you're an Eyeside subscriber, you might want to check out what's available on the Eyeside Store at the moment. It's the new Jump Point Volume 3, and my one arrived a couple of weeks ago, and well, it's a very nice book. Now, I have got the other two volumes in the series, so I just had to have, well, the third volume. Now, in this week's Calling All Devs, where Gerard Huckleberry asked the developers questions from the community, there were some interesting questions asked. Now, I've just picked out a couple, and one of them was, will we spawn our ships in the same way as we do now? Now, basically, the quick answer is yes and no. Basically, you'll still have terminals, although they'll probably get a graphical enhancement at some time, and also there will be landing pads, but at the moment Olisar is really just a bit of a placeholder. They're waiting until they get the truck stop style space stations online so they can actually have hangars where the ships spawn, so this will eliminate the ships popping in and out as they do now on the landing pads. We will have the landing pads for, well, a good while yet before the hangars come in the truck stop space stations. In fact, they're getting ready for when the Aegis Reclaimer gets into the game by designing a landing pad which is about twice the size of a football field. Now, the next question I thought was interesting was, will there be hotfixes between now and 3.1? Well, that was sort of answered in last week's Around the Verse, where it transpired that the developers, Tony Zurvik and I think Ahmed Shaker and others, were working actually all over Christmas and implementing hotfixes on the server side to actually improve the experience for the player where possible. So you've got to give it to the developers. They're certainly dedicated. So yeah, there'll be some hot fixes, but some of them they won't actually tell us about. There'll be ones they can implement well, fairly easy on the server side, and the main fixes for performance will come in 3.1, which is scheduled for March. Now, there's been some changes to YouTube lately, and although I've got 1,000 subscribers, I've got nowhere near 4,000 hours of viewing time over the past years. So they're going to actually demonetize a lot of channels. Now, it doesn't really affect me because although I was running adverts on the channel, I've really only done it because I thought it would help with the search analytics. But to be honest, it doesn't. The only reason I got to 1,000 subscribers was, for one, getting a mention by Tactical Advance some time ago, which sent a few of his subscribers my way. Very good of him. And also getting featured last year on Citizens of the Stars. Well, that was my 30 seconds of fame, and that really did give the channel a boost. Now, without that, it's very difficult for small channels to get noticed. A lot of people just don't know they're there, and to be honest, I've been thinking about this for a long while, and although I'm going to carry on doing the channel and upload when I can, I'm now going to actually not run adverts at all on my channel. And well, to be honest, Google was going to demonetize my channel anyway, so I'm going to save them, well, the work. And in future, if by some miracle I suddenly get thousands of subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing time, well, I'm going to say this now, I'm not going to run any adverts anymore. So with that, thanks very much for watching, and if you'd like to subscribe, please do, because the subscriber count, when it does go up, really does make me happy, and well, I guess it does help the channel a lot. So until next time, wherever you're watching out in that big universe, you take care, and I'll see you, well, sometime soon. Bye for now.